All right, welcome to Yonan's Edge. Today I'm bringing you my review of EMP EDC's Nymble X. Let's jump right in as I always do with some specifications. We've got an M390 bowler steel blade. It's a drop point with a flat grind. Brushed satin. 3 inches of usable fine edge. Titanium frag scales. All the hardware on the knife is titanium as well. It is a frame lock design. It is riding on dual ceramic ball bearings. Very nice. Has a scale length of 4.5 inches and a tip to tail length of 8 inches, almost on the money. The weight on this knife was 4.2 ounces on my digital scale. So let's talk briefly about what I like. Put simply, this is yet another example of EMP EDC taking a great design, enhancing it, and moving it into production. Everything you like about the original Nymble is here in this knife. It's just scaled up to be a more full-size knife that you can carry. There are still 4 deployment methods for this knife. You can use this built-in flipper tab from the back. There is a front flip option here that lets you flip the knife open, and then you've got 2 different Spidey flick and front thumb flick here on the blade fuller, which runs the full length and is very comfortable, and the trademark EMP EDC deployment method here, which is just using your thumb. So any of those methods will work good to deploy this knife. The frag pattern on this knife is perfectly done. They've got frag down to a science. This is really nice. It's not super aggressive, but it just feels good and positive in your hand. This particular frag pattern from EMP EDC may be one of my all-time favorites. The knife does have good ergos. If you like the original Nymble, you're gonna like this one. Large glove size hands, still a little bit of room back here, about 1/4 of an inch of space back at the back. If you hold it in the rearward position, you can also hold it on the center, and you can also choke up to this big giant choil that they always put in there and still get a good grip on the knife. So it is functional in that respect, ergonomically and hand feel wise. It also has a good working pocket clip. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel here. They came up with a pocket clip that has plenty of stack height on it, slips in and out of your pocket well, has enough give to it to work properly. I'm a big fan of the design and shape of EMP EDC's pocket clips on their Nymble line of knives. Like I said, it has 2 very good hand positions. You've got good blade steel, Bowler M390. I've used this knife for a couple months. This thing cuts really well. I've only had to lightly strop this knife to bring it back to razor sharpness once again after cutting through lots and lots of cardboard and some other materials with it. The other final thing is they didn't reinvent the wheel here. They scaled this knife up. They made it very, very similar to the original Nymble, which I will show you a comparison of later. Plenty of spine jimping here, so no matter which hand position you're in, there is a place for you to put your finger. Whether you're all the way up front, whether you move to the middle, or whether you're all the way in the back, there's plenty of meaningful, good old Nymble spine jimping. So I like it a lot. If you add all that stuff in, throw in the comfortable hand positions along with lots of spine jimping, what appears to be well heat-treated steel, quality build materials, well, you get the picture. The knife is definitely part of the Nymble family, just a little larger. So let's talk about dislikes or issues that I might have with the knife. The knife is handle heavy by about 3/4 of an inch. The balance point on the knife is about 3/4 of an inch back here behind the pivot, closer to an inch. So if you're really into well-balanced knives, you're gonna notice that this knife does feel considerably handle heavy, despite it being all made out of titanium. It's also not the most well-tuned EMP EDC knife I've ever had in my hands. I've handled a lot of Nymbles. I've probably had 4 or 5 different Nymbles in my hand over the course of time. 2 different W's, and this is the second X that I've handled. I won't say this knife is poorly tuned. Still pretty darn smooth, but not quite where most of the other ones have been. Is it break-in? Could be. This is not my knife. This knife was loaned to me by Cue Ball. Thank you, brother, for that. And I don't know how much break-in time this knife has actually had. But again, it has all those hallmarks of a Nymble. Still a very good knife. The Mokutai clip is beautiful. I'm not a Mokutai fan myself, but again, this knife is not mine. It belongs to Cue Ball. I believe this either came with a black or the kind of bronzy, goldish colored clip on it, which I probably would have preferred myself. But this is the same level of build quality that you're gonna see in almost all of the other EMP EDC Nymbles and EMP EDC knives in general. Very similar. It's gonna feel like you're picking up an old friend. So let's do a couple quick size comparisons for you. Here is the EMP EDC Nymble X. Here it is next to the original Nymble. This is one of mine. You can see there's a considerable difference in size there between the OG Nymble and the Nymble X, but I like it. It's a good scale up. And then let's show you one other knife just for a sense of size comparison. This is next to the Doug Ritter Hogue. And a lot of people know what this knife is, so that gives you an idea. So very similar in size-wise, similar in length, similar in size to the Doug Ritter Hogue. So finally, let's talk about my summary of this review. I really wanted a Nymble X when they came out. I hoped to buy one. I didn't. After missing out on it, I was glad to get a hold of this one and be able to use it for a couple months. I really enjoyed this knife. My desire to own one of these hasn't changed. And the word is that this $350-ish knife is probably going to be released in a version 2 from EMP EDC sometime in the early half of 2023. They've already showed images of the V2. So I won't miss out on this knife a second time, and I don't think you should either. I think for the price, this is a quality knife, and if you love the Nymble, you're going to want one of these larger ones. Okay, that is EMP EDC's Nymble X review. If you like the review, hit the like button down there, consider subscribing to the channel, and also leave me some comments. I love responding to you guys about all of my videos. So thanks, as always, for watching Eonan's Edge. I'll see you soon. Stay sharp.